I want you guys to think, if words were taken away, how much could we still say? Nonverbal communication, from a smile to a frown, speaks volumes. So nonverbal communication consists of processing or generating using behavior other than words. So this can consist of your 5 senses. This is your auditory and visual stimuli. The body gestures like facial expressions, your hand gestures, eye contact, and then also paralanguage, which we've also learned in this class a little bit, your pitch, volume, and speaking rate. Some statistics about nonverbal communication is that 90% of communication is nonverbal, and that's from the University of Minnesota. Nonverbal influences. Nonverbal influences people in different ways. So, for example, deception is an intentional act of altering information to influence others. And our nonverbal communication is more credible, so we try and contain it, we try to control it. And we also evaluate others' nonverbal cues. So if someone's smiling more, we're noticing that, and so we start to perceive people differently. Some functions of nonverbal is reinforcing. So we reinforce our verbal communication with nonverbal. This is with our gestures, our facial expressions, and also our vocal variation. And on the screen, I've got a peace sign. We all know like peace, peace out, or a thumbs up. That can also be like, good job, great job. We also substitute verbal communication. This is like with verbal language barriers. If we can't communicate with someone verbally, we start to point to convey what we're trying to say. Also, babies making faces. You ever see a baby that's crying or pointing to something that they want? They can't speak yet, and so they have to communicate what they want through nonverbal cues. Also, another example is if you're in a loud room, like you're at a concert and your friend is all the way across the room, you need to, say whatever you're trying to say, so you're gonna start pointing, you're gonna start, mouthing words because you can't speak to them directly. Also, another function is nonverbal conveys meaning. Mixed messages are when verbal and nonverbal start to contradict each other. So if you're sarcastic, you're like, that was so good. You're using nonverbal cues to show that you're being sarcastic. Nonverbal also expresses our identities. So nonverbal expression allows us to be who we are. This can be with artifacts. We use different things around us, like even the color of your nails or the water bottle that you have. That conveys a nonverbal message and tells people what you're about, what you like, and those different things. And so how we set up our work or living spaces determines how we are nonverbally communicating. And pictures, if you have a certain aesthetic that you go for, that tells people who you're about. And also showing our identity, clothing. Clothing is a big one. If you're dressing nicer, you're going to convey a different, what's the word? Message, thank you, that was really good. So for interviews, you want to dress nicely, like how I am today. I'd show up to an interview like this. If you're in a social gathering, you want to be like other people, and like at a concert, you're going to dress like others. Also cultural settings, like cultural parties, you're going to dress like everybody else. So clothing also carries context. Height and attractiveness actually influences other people's perceptions of you. And from nonverbal communication through clothing, they say self-confidence or lack of it is affected by clothing. And so as we wrap up, I want you guys to consider this. What does our nonverbal presence reveal about us, often before we even say it? Thank you.